Well, since our last interview,
Yes.
Harvey Weinstein
Yeah.
has been sentenced to 23 years in prison.
Good. See ya. I mean, it's about time. We were waiting. He tried to use that Walker shit. He tried to act like an old man and shit, and that shit didn't work. Bill Cosby is like, Bill Cosby's like, hey, Harvey, what's going on? I saved some snacks for you. Move over. Put the thing over there. There's the toilet. And you got to remember, got to go to sleep at 9 o'clock. The gun to boop-a-doop and the boop-a-dop-a-doop. Welcome. I was wondering when your ass would come here. You know what I mean? Bill Cosby's in jail. Harvey Weinstein, it was overdue. Nobody
Right.
said,
Well,
yeah.
If he actually serves out his whole sentence, he will get out at 90 years old.
Yeah. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, dude. He's not in the best of shape. Maybe he'll get in shape when he's in jail and he come out, diesel as fuck. Harvey's diesel at 90, like, yeah, You thought I was gone, huh? Maybe. But
I'm raping dudes in prison now.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, motherfucker. And I'm reopening
I'm still taking.
All you hoes thought I was dead. Hell yeah. And so Harvey, which I don't know, why didn't Gail interview him? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Gail, you should have interviewed him. I'm just saying it would have been fair. But nobody said anything about Harvey Weinstein. Everybody kind of kept quiet about Harvey Weinstein, except for the actresses that got harassed by Harvey Weinstein, stuff like that.
And you know what's interesting? And I looked this up. During his trial, not a single person took the stand on his behalf.
Oh, wow.
All the people that he helped to get Oscars,
Oh, yeah.
that he made them into movie stars, that he gave them careers that have made millions of dollars.
Of course.
Not one person got up on the stand and said, I've known Harvey and he's a decent man. And
you know why?
Because look.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because them bitches got in by fucking them and they didn't want to look stupid. They were like, fuck that. If I get on that stand, they'll say, she gave him some pussy. She gave him some pussy.
What about the men though? Not even a man got up on that stand.
No, a man's probably like, yo, you let that shit happen. They'll be like, oh, that's another motherfucker that let that shit happen. He probably hooked Harvey up with some ass and go, yo, I'm gonna hook you up with some pussy, boom, boom, boom. Because they're gonna all look guilty. They're gonna all look like they were in on it. That is the reason why they were like, I ain't taking a stand, shit. I don't know that motherfucker. I'm telling you. So it's either you're gonna ruin your reputation or you're gonna be a fucking two-face. And this is the business. The business is all about two-faced shit. A lot of people aren't your real friends. They're your friends because you work. You know that in LA, everybody's your friends when you're working, and when you're not working, no one's your friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I understand why they didn't take the stand. Because if I'm a chick and I go, Harvey's a great person. Oh, she sucked his dick. This bitch got dick breath. Harvey Weinstein dick breath. That's why she been in all those movies. That's why. What if somebody was telling the truth, saying, you know what? Harvey is a good person. Harvey actually is a good person. Nobody's gonna believe it. They're gonna say you fucked him because that's all he was about. That motherfucker want to jerk off in a plant and shit. Remember, Harvey's like, just let me jerk off in your ear. I just want to let me just nut in your ear, man. I want to put it in your pussy. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying? So Harvey's sexual deviancy, Harvey's disrespect of women is one of the main reasons why those women didn't want it, because they would look like they got in because they hoed themselves out. That is why.
After the trial, Bill Cosby posted on his social media, he said, here's the question that should haunt all Americans, especially wealthy and famous men. Where do we go in this country to find fairness and impartiality in the judicial system? Where do we go in this country to find due process? Lastly, if the Me Too movement isn't just about Becky, aka white women, I would challenge Me Too and ask them to go back 400 plus years and tarnish the names of those oppressors that raped slaves. This is a very sad day in the American judicial system.
And he said when Harvey got convicted.
Yeah.
So basically he's like, what is wrong with raping? Rapists need love too. He's like, first of all, I don't know. It's it's a real tough thing, man, because you with Cosby, there's a lot of different, I go back and forth. I'm like, there's this rich, powerful black man, and you know America's known for taking down black men that have money. They are known for that shit. They are known. They took down Michael Jackson because Michael didn't do none of that shit. I don't believe none of that shit. They took him down because Michael even said it at a rally, at an all-black rally. He said, as soon as I was making a certain amount of albums, as soon as I sold a certain amount of albums, them motherfuckers started calling me weirdo. They started fucking my reputation up. That motherfucker was keeping it real as shit. He goes, I know I'm black. He's like, I have a skin disease. He says, I know I'm black. He was like, they started doing that once he started getting power. Like, I think we've talked about this before. Once I started getting power, I owned some Sony thing. I owned the Beatles. They started fucking with me. You know what I mean? They did it to Prince. They did it to a lot of these motherfuckers. And I think, listen, I worked for Cosby and I heard about shit about Cosby. And I didn't say nothing. You know, but my thing is, I wasn't tripping on the extramarital affairs. I wasn't tripping on that because first of all, bitches, you know, I'm talking about the girls that were trying to get, that's why I was using that word bitch, the girls that were trying to get money from him. You know he's married. He says it in his stand-up routine. Your ass is over there. You understand? But I didn't know he was drugging them. That's the part I was like, whoa, what? But people have to understand the time in which this shit happened. You're talking about the 60s, 70s, where everybody was free love, doing drugs. In the 80s, everybody was taking Quaaludes and fucking each other, right? And then you're talking about, you know, maybe he did do it. Even Felicia Rashad was like, they're trying to destroy legacy, which I do believe also. And then what's really fucked up is Cosby was criticizing everybody as if he was perfect, which he fucked up on. Talking of dogging Eddie Murphy, dogging Jamie Foxx, dogging D.L. Hughley, dogging all of these motherfuckers, telling us how we should be doing our comedy. You know what I mean? And he did that too much. And then he would go on to say, hey, you kids, your kids are stupid. They're not reading. You got to pull up your pants and the thing. And what is wrong with? He kept doing that shit. And then all of a sudden this shit happens. Now we're like looking at you like, now you got a lot of nerve talking all that shit. Now look at you, motherfucker. You in jail. Even Eddie Murphy said that in his monologue on SNL. He goes, and Eddie was like, how you feel now? Ha! Yeah, your ass in jail. My ass is free. You know what I mean? So I'm still stuck in the middle like, damn, Cosby is a fucking icon, man. As a comedian, I can't take nothing from the man. The man he literally influenced Richard Pryor, Jerry Seinfeld. He is one of the real kings of comedy, like on some real shit. He really is. And you have to think about the eras that he changed single-handedly, the 60s on I Spy. He was the first black person on network television. A black man on national television. Then in the 70s, he had Fat Albert. He had an animated cartoon, even though there were some characters that were a little suspect, a little buffoonish, but he was talking about black life through animation. Then he was on picture pages on Electric Company, educating children. Then he was advertising for Texas Instruments and Jell-O pudding. He was advertising for American products to white folks. And then in the 80s, he comes with the Cosby Show. And that wasn't his first Cosby Show. That was the second one. He already had 2 shows of his own. So he literally made NBC #1 overnight. NBC was in 3rd place. And Cosby, before Cheers, before Friends, before any of those other white sitcoms, Cosby Show changed NBC, fucking period. And then he comes up with Different World, which is about black college life. Black people go to college. Millions of us do. We're very educated, and there was a TV show reflecting us. Black love, black education, black problems like pregnancies. We were human beings. Bill Cosby humanized African Americans. He humanized us, and he was about dignity, and he was about education. He was about pulling up your pants. He was about that shit. Instead of black community, it was black society. And Cosby did that shit single-handedly. And for this to happen, you go, what the fuck? That's why we're still in disbelief, because of the contributions that he's done, because he really pushed us forward. He really did. And this is like, this has to be one of the worst downfalls since fucking the Roman Empire. Real shit. It's real shit.
Well, we interviewed John Amos. Lunel actually did the
Who
interview.
is one of the greatest, I've met John Amos, one of the greatest and most articulately smart, one of the greatest father figures before Cosby show was John Amos, who played James Evans Sr. on Good Times.
Right. And he actually did an episode of the Cosby Show.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he played, I guess he played Cosby's doctor on the show.
Yeah.
And he talked about his experience on set. I guess profanity was just not allowed, period.
Did he seem to have a different persona on camera and off camera? Or was he basically like Heathcliff Huxtable, lovable and family guy and all this? Because he seemed to be very moral in his standards, yet he criticized Eddie Murphy so much back in the day for using foul language and that.
Oh, he allowed no profanity on the set. In fact, I think I used a curse word one day and everything stopped. And it was in the middle of a rehearsal. And Felicia Rashad, who played his wife, of course, she came over and said, we don't talk that way on this show. I said, well, what did I say? What did I do? I thought that I, kidnapped a baby or something.
Yeah.
And she said, no, we don't use any profanity. I said, okay.
We don't use any profanity. We just use peels.
No comment.
Bill Cosby.
No comment.
So now.
Yeah, when I worked on the Cosby Show as an audience coordinator, it was the CBS one, I saw Cosby curse, and it was hilarious. He cursed a little bit. He said, motherfucker. I was like, what? He cursed. It was weird. You see, what the fuck are you doing? It was hilarious. But the profanity wasn't, because when I was warming up the audience, you couldn't curse. There was no cursing. It was a family show. Yeah, he was against all of that. But I don't think you should be against it to grown-ass people, unless, you're talking to kids and stuff like that. But you're talking to grown men, motherfucker.
Right. And when Lunel asked him if he was surprised that Cosby got convicted, he said he wasn't. He said he had heard these rumors for years.
Yeah.
This was really circulating around Hollywood with known actors and so forth. People just knew Cosby was just somewhat rapey.
And a lot of those cats were rapey. A lot of cats were rapey. Kevin Spacey, all the white motherfuckers was rapey, not just Cosby. All the motherfuckers was doing it. The directors were doing it. Photographers were doing it to models. All of these motherfuckers were rapey because nobody would believe these girls, because women have no power and no one gives a fuck about women and people are misogynists. But now, the people who get their just desserts are getting their just desserts. Even though the Me Too movement, sometimes you have to be extreme in order to come back to normalcy. You understand? So the fact that, like, a lot of this Me Too movement, because I told you, remember last time I told you I was Me Too'd by this chick and she was wrong. She was lying. And a lot of girls are taking advantage of it, but it was needed to go extreme because men were getting away with this shit for a long time. And my thing is this. Now, I hope maybe when women get a part in a movie or something, they got it out of talent and not because they fuck somebody. It's because they got it the fair and equal way. So a lot of these women that actually don't give up their dignity and have some pride, they will actually get roles because they're fucking talented and not some creepy, nasty, fucking can't see his dick ass motherfucker wants to lay on her. Or, you know what I mean? And vice versa, where a dude doesn't have to get something poked in his ass to get something. I mean, they do weird shit. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If there were more women in charge, I would probably fuck my way up to the top, but it's never that. It's a hairy man ass. And I'm like, I don't like men's asses. And that's for whoever likes that, but I'm heterosexual. Why can't there be women in charge so I can fuck my way to the top? I would tear ass. I would be like, what? Shit. I would hit shit like, bah, bah. She may not be good looking, but I'm gonna be Iron Man, right? Yeah. I'll be fucking, you know what I mean? But it's always like, hey, all you gotta do is put it in my ass and you're gonna be Aquaman.